you can practice on your own. And if time allows, I'll already throw an AC towards the end of class. So pay attention. I need you to stay awake. You purchased a home for $345,000. You make a 6% down payment. This is on page 22 if you're still looking. The remaining amount will need to be mortgaged at 5.5% over 25 years. She chose a 5-year term to lock in the rate for 5 years. Hold on. This part, guys, right here is just for your information, okay? It doesn't affect our calculations, okay? This doesn't affect calculations. The only thing this would affect is if the province asked you what would happen if you want to sell in 2 years. You sign a 5-year contract, you want to sell in 2 years, you're going to pay a penalty. That's what's going to happen, okay? How much is the penalty? Thousands of dollars, okay? Thousands of dollars. And the reason why is if you lock in for 5 years, guess where they get this money from? People saving money. So if I come and I say, hey, I want to lock in my money for 5 years, and they promise you an interest rate, they're going to take your money and borrow it to somebody else for 5 years. So they want to make some profit to pay your interest, right, that they promised you. So they're basically, a bank is basically just the middle person, takes money, gives money, and back and forth, right? That's how you make money, okay? They make money off of that interest. So determine the amount of down payment, then calculate the monthly mortgage payment. All right. So the down payment in dollars, okay, I need to make sure you understand that this is in dollars. We're going to take 345, page 22. 345, we're going to multiply that by 0.06. Okay? 6 divided by 100 is 0.06. Write it down at the top here if this is something that you need a refresher on. So let's figure out what the down payment is. $20,700. Okay, $20,700. You would usually get a mark for this. Okay, you get a mark for figuring out the down payment. So now is the payment itself. The monthly payment is the monthly, okay? We will take the price of the house, we will subtract it down, and then we will multiply that by table over per $1,000. And just as we're talking here, there we go. So we're going to go to our table, match 5.5% with 25 years, which is way over here. Okay. 610. Okay, so 5.5, 610. So we'll just say here on the side, write this down because sometimes the province actually just gives you this. 610 per $1,000 borrowed. Make sure you know you're comfortable with that, the province saying it like that. You don't actually have to go get it from the table. I will circle that just so you know where we got it from. So in this case, we have to take the price of the house. We subtract 20,700. Then we multiply it by the table rate, which is 610 over 1,000. Okay. Clean this up, please. You go 345 minus 20,700. So this would be the cleaned up version. I prefer you do continuing under this, but we ran out of space. So you decide how you want to do it. Most students, they just like to go 6.10 or 6.1 divided by 1,000. They'll do this part first. You get that. Then you multiply by 324, 300. So that is 1,978 and 23 cents. This is the monthly payment every month. Okay. Monthly payment. Got that. Okay. Next, calculate the total amount paid to the bank over the life of the mortgage. You grab your study sheet, total paid to the bank. I just have to take my payment, multiply it by 12, and multiply it by the number of years. So total paid to the bank is payment times 12 months times years. So this is 1978.23 times 12 times 25. Okay. Make sure you write this down. You can look at your social media later. Okay. Times 12 times 25. It should be a bigger amount, and it should be more than what you borrowed. Would you agree with that? You will never pay the bank less than what they gave you. They would not be in business if that were the case. Okay. I know that banks sometimes get like seen as the bad guys, but to be honest, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of things if we weren't able to borrow money. Okay. Sometimes you just have to borrow money, especially for big purchases when you're starting a business. Sometimes you need a lot of money to get started. So banks actually make that possible, right? So that's how much you paid them. You borrowed this much. You paid them that much. That should you should notice that. It's like, oh my goodness, like I've paid almost double of what the house was worth, or like what I owed. By the time I'm done, I will have doubled almost what I owe, right, at the beginning. So that's something actually that is happening all the time. Determine the amount of the first month's payment that goes towards interest. Highlight first month, right? Like we don't want the interest for the entire mortgage. We just want the first month. So first month, interest. You take your mortgage. You multiply by the interest rate, divide it by 100, and then all of that gets divided by 12. Okay? So what is your mortgage? Mortgage is, you know what? I should go, can you please do this in your notes as well? Just that one time. This piece, once you do the subtraction, this is what we call the mortgage. I don't want you to be using the 345. That's the price of the house, right? The mortgage is how much you've borrowed. You pay $20,000 and something, they borrow you the rest. Let's go over here. Do the same thing. Mortgage. So write down mortgage here and write down mortgage there. So once you take off the down payment, that's the number we use thereafter. Okay. Let's go up. And so we'll grab that 324, 300. The interest rate is 5.5 or 5.50 divided by 100. I mostly do this right away. I don't bother writing in over 100. But for your notes, I'm going to leave it like that. Okay. So it's 5.5 divided by 100 is 0.055. So 324, 300 times 0.055 divided by 12. There it is. So on your first payment, let this sink in for a moment. Your payment, the first payment is how much? Look up here where my pencil is pointing right now. That's your first, like this is every month you're gonna pay this, right? The 1978 on the very first payment. The bank, not right, the bank takes this. This is their in their pocket. The very first payment, this much goes towards their profit. And the remaining amount is actually gonna pay down your mortgage. So just think about that. Almost $1,500 is theirs. It doesn't do anything to how much you owe them, right? It doesn't bring it down. So just think about that. Principal paid on the first month. Principal, we will take the payment and we subtract, oops, you can't see that, my bad. Payment minus interest. So we know that it's 1978.23. We subtract 1486.38. Here you have it, 491.85. Pays down balance owing. Okay? This is what pays down balance owing. This is the finance charge. So you only pay off $500 the first month, guys. Even though you almost gave them $2,000. The first month, only $500 less what you owe them. $491 to be specific, right? $491.85. All right. Calculate how much interest you would have to have paid by the end of the mortgage. Folks, it's not this times 12 times 25, because this goes down every month. How much interest they charge you because you start owing less. What you need to do here is total interest is your payment times 12 times years, right? So you figure out how much did you pay the bank, and you go minus the mortgage. So you go 1978.23 times 12 times 25. Watch out, it's not always a 25-year mortgage. Minus 324,300. I already did this part in B, so I'm just going to go and get that number. It's how much you paid them. And when you subtract that, you get $269,169 even. This is called the finance charge. And sometimes people wonder, well, why don't you just save up the money to buy the whole house cash, right? Well, I think of it this way, if you wait, what's going to happen to the price of the house as you're saving up? It's going to go up as well, right? So now you're going to have to pay more for the house when you're ready. So it's almost like a catch-22. It's like, what should you do? I would say if you're ready, buy it and then try to pay it off as fast as you can. Double up your payments if you can, top up your payments if you can, do something like that to pay it off faster, and this amount will shrink. More of this will stay in your pocket, right? So if you can do that. I told you about the two payments thing, right? Please don't be kind of too confident. Oh, I don't want to have this 1978 payment. Like, I'm going to go $2,500 a month. No problem, right? If you sign on the dotted lines committing to the $2,500, you're locked in. You can't get out if you do for a 5-year mortgage. So just sign for this and then tell them to add a second payment just on the side, just a second payment that automatically goes towards your mortgage. That's gonna do it, because you can cancel at any time. You can top it up, you can cancel it, you can reduce it, you can do whatever you want with that extra payment, okay? All right, time for you to practice. And I have to help you out because you don't have the tables. So please write this down. Go to 23, and somewhere at the top of that, you're gonna write down that table rate that you need. So we're gonna compare 20 years to 3.5%. So 20 years, 3.5. Just making sure, 579. So write down somewhere that it's 579 per $1,000. Okay, you're gonna need this. This is your table rate. Table rate. Let's keep going. I'll give you some extras. Let's go to 26. Go to 26. Question 2 here. 579 per $1,000. Write this down. That is your table rate. Let's go to 27. Oh, hold on. Write that down on 26, okay? Right there where you see it. One moment, guys. I want to make sure I get this right. I made a mistake. This is 655. My bad. I was looking at the wrong page. 655. Keep going. Go to page 27. Page 27, this question right here, the table rate is $827 per $1,000. I'm gonna stop there. I think that's as far as you're gonna go. So how about all the way to page 27? Yes. 26? That one? So give this a try. I will post the answer keys